Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well, peace, blessings, and safety. To all you sincere Akim, keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. And this is going to be another episode of history and prophecy, all right? And it's going to be entitled, They Name Lands After Themselves. Pretty much going into whenever Edomites, they take over or conquer a land, they name the country, the streets, the cities after themselves, all right? And this is in the prophecies, okay? So this is a characteristic of the wicked, all right? So I'm going to bring up some scriptures on this, and Lord's will is edifying to the elect. But before we get started, I'm going to go into the history, and primarily I'm going to be focusing on the naming of what's known of today as America. All right, biblically it's known as Arsareth, or the daughter of Babylon. All right, the land of the north, Babylon the Great. Okay, I'm going to go into that, and then also another land, the landmass of what's known of as Africa, but in the Bible it's called the land of Ham. All right, so both of these lands were taken over by Esau, and he named them after himself, just as the prophecy says that he likes to do. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the scriptures. So, this here is where the title of the video comes from. The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." All right, so this is where I got the title of the video from. And I've already got it pulled up. A little bit of history on this man here. All right, his name was Amerigo Vespucci. All right, and I'm just going to do a brief read on him. All right, from Wikipedia. Okay, it says, Amerigo Vespucci, and he was born March 9th, 1451, was an Italian explorer and navigator from the Republic of Florence, from whose name the term America is derived. Okay, so you have Amerigo Vespucci, and then you had Cristobal Colon, also known as Christopher Columbus. Okay, and they claim to have quote unquote discovered America, which is false. All right, there was already people here inhabiting the land. All right, the Northern Kingdom specifically, all right, of the Israelites, which it tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, that they were exiled here during the first captivity, all right, during the Assyrian captivity, okay? So they did not discover the land, but once again, whenever they conquer a land, and how do they do that? All right, they conquer by lying, stealing, cheating, all right, forming treaties, and then breaking those treaties, okay, which is exactly what they did to take the land by force from the so-called Native American Indians and the so-called Latinos, all right, which are, once again, the northern kingdom of the children of Israel, the northern kingdom of the Israelites, all right, and also known as the Spanish-speaking tribe, Salakia. So, anyways, that's just a little quick brief history on him. I'm going to read a little bit more. It says, between 1497 and 1504, Vespucci participated in at least 2 voyages of the Age of Discovery, first on behalf of Spain and then for Portugal. All right. So, anyways, so he was an explorer. All right, an explorer, and it says a navigator. All right, and he was one of the first, I guess, to come here of the Edomites. All right, and this land was named after him. And ironically, let's just go into right quick that word, Amerigo. All right. Let's see. Actually, I'll do it this way. If you go into the Latin word for bitter, or the root word, all right, in Latin for bitter, it's amarum, all right, which is very similar. And I believe, actually, if you go into it in Spanish, Salakia. If you go into it in Spanish, it's very similar. The word for bitter in Spanish is amargo, all right, so very similar to Amerigo. And it's ironic because, it's ironic because this place has been very bitter for the children of Israel. All right, this is the land of our captivity. Okay, this is the definition for the word bitter. let's see, it says, of a people or their feelings or behavior. I'm looking at definition 2. It says angry, hurt, or resentful because of one's bad experience or sense of unjust treatment. That's exactly what happened here towards the children of Israel in Babylon the Great. All right, America. Okay, why? Because this place is bitter for us. All right, let's see. Let's see what it says. I'm getting the dictionary.com for the word bitter. All right, it says, I'll use the Salakia. Hang on. I don't really like any of these. I don't like any of these definitions. I go to the Merriam-Webster, see what it says. Okay, so here, definition 2 in the Merriam-Webster, it says marked by intensity or severity. All right, and this place was very severe on the children of Israel. All right, both southern and northern kingdom, because once again, this is the land of our captivity. All right, Jeremiah 50:33. Let's see what it says. All right, Jeremiah 50:33 goes into that. Okay, bear with me. All right, here we go. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Okay, and that's here in Babylon the Great. All right, but the children of Israel, all right, the northern kingdom, the Latins, the Spanish-speaking tribes, all right, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together. All right, right here in Babylon the Great. Okay, by the pretty much the three main Edomite powers at that time, which were the British, the Spanish, and the French. Okay, these are in that Daniel the 7th chapter talks about that horn pushing past the 3 horns, to make room for itself. Okay, that's talking about because at a time, this land was ruled over by those 3 European nations for the most part. Okay, the British, all right, the Spanish, and the French. Okay, but America pushed through and created its own, country off of that. And why? Because it's all in the prophecies that 8th horn, all right, would rise up. Okay, so that's 8th head, Salakia. But anyways, continuing on. So that's where you get the word America from. It comes from Amerigo Vespucci. Now they did the same thing over there in what's known as Africa. All right, by most people, but in the Bible it's known as the land of Ham. And it was named after a man named Leo. Here it is, already came up. All right, Leo Scipio Africanus. Okay, that's where you get the word Africa from. Okay, that's where it was named after. It's named after this Roman, this Edomite right here. All right, and he apparently he had won a victory over Hannibal. Okay, he won a victory over Hannibal, so I guess he was given. It was given in his honor. The land of Ham was named after him, named Africa. All right, but once again, this is all according to prophecy because this is what they do. So we're gonna go back and read that. Psalms 49:11 says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." Okay, so this is what they do. Now, let's I'm gonna search something up right quick. Okay, landmark. All right, because it's against the law of the Bible to do what they've done. All right, they once they conquered these lands, they destroy museums, destroy history. All right, knock noses off of statues, also that they can whitewash history pretty much and paint themselves to be the victors, or anything that's great has came from them is the way that they want to paint it to be. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, "Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it." So this is really to the children of Israel. All right, but he's telling you, thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark. Okay, because especially when you're studying prophecy, everything is pretty much going after the biblical nations and the names of their lands. All right, so that's part of that great deception as well. All right, Esau's been able to hide in plain sight because no one knows. Most people in the world All right, they don't know about the biblical, different lands and different nations of people and all that kind of stuff. And Esau has done a good job of hiding it. Okay, but continuing on, let's get the next one. Deuteronomy 27:17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say, Amen. All right, Job 24:2. Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. It says, remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set. Proverbs 20:22-28. And the last one, Proverbs 23:10. Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the field of the fatherless. Okay, and who is the fatherless? That's Jacob. Okay, Jacob is the fatherless. So they've broken broken each and every single last one of these laws. All right, not to remove the landmark though, but once again they did that, and then they named the land after themselves. Okay, and how did they get these lands? They take them by violence. Let's read about that. All right, it's all in the prophecies. Okay, this is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So they covet fields and take them by violence. Okay? So, once again, what did they do to the people that were already here? Because they tell you they discovered America, but that's a lie, okay? According to the scriptures, there was already people here. And just look at history. Like I said, everybody knows that. All right, the so-called Native American Indians and so-called Latinos were already here. All right, what did they do? They made treaties with them. They broke those treaties. All right, they raped their women. They beat them. They gave them blankets with diseases. All right, they gave them alcohol, knowing that it would cause problems for them. Okay, so these are the things that they have done. This is part of them taking the land by violence. They covet fields. Covet means to desire something. All right, but especially covetousness means desiring something that really doesn't belong to you. All right, so they covet these fields, the land, and take it by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Like when the children of Judah came over here on the slave ships, what did they do? They beat the Hebrew out of us. All right, literally. Okay. Same with the so-called Native American Indians. They beat the culture out. All right. So, and they put them in boarding schools and forced them to speak English and give them English names, the same way they did us. All right. Why? Because as I read before, the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together. All right. Let's get a few more verses on this. We'll move forward. Okay. Micah 2:3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, so because you did these things, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. Okay, so the Lord said, I'm going to repay you back for these things that you've done. It says, in that day shall one take up a parable against you. A parable is like a saying, and lament with a doleful lamentation. Lament means to cry, okay, to be sorrowful, and say, we be utterly spoiled, so we've been robbed. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. That's exactly what they do. And then what do? They name the land after themselves. Okay. The land it wasn't called America back then. But once again, see, this is all in the prophecies. The Bible calls this land Arsareth. All right, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. But this is in the law right here, Numbers 35 and 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay, and that's exactly what the Lord says he's going to do. He's going to shed the blood of Esau. Okay, that's the reason why he said, behold, I devise an evil against this family, which they shall not be able to remove their necks. Okay, so you're not going to be able to escape it. All right, because of all the blood that you've shed on the land. Okay, the Lord must make good on his word. He said that the only way the land can be cleansed is by the blood of them who shed the blood originally. All right, now this is Job 24. Okay, and we kind of, this verse was brought out earlier, but I'm going to start at verse 1. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. So they rob and steal from the poor. Okay, that's what they did to the so-called Latinos, Native American Indians when they got here. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, it says, behold, as the wild asses in the desert go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. They reap everyone his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. So they don't care. All right, they don't care. It says they are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for want of a shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaf from the hungry. All right, it says, which make oil within their walls and tread the wine presses and suffer thirst. Okay, so he's talking about Jacob. So that's pretty much us going into captivity. All right, they pretty much how it said that that you would build houses but not inhabit them. You would pluck the vineyards but not enjoy the fruit thereof. All right, that's what it's talking about here. Okay, it says they tread the wine presses and they suffer thirst. All right, why? Because Esau just takes. As it says, his desire is his hell and he is his death. That's Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. All right, look at this. It says, Job 24:12, men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out. Yet God layeth not folly to them. Okay, it says they are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. All right, it's Esau. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. In the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. For the morning is as to them even as a shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. So they hate the light. They hate anything righteous. Okay. Let's see. There's so much I can keep going on and on. But anyways, it's just going to description of the wicked. All right, and because of this, right, the people are mourning. All right, because of all the things that have been done. All right, and also things that are continue to be done in Babylon the Great. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay, and that's what you're seeing right about now. A whole lot of mourning going on. All right. So you got even Edomites going on TikTok, losing their minds. All right, this is, let's see, Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not at all in his thoughts. Okay, and that's a perfect example, man. That they don't really care about the scriptures. All right, it says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. All right, and that goes back into that that scripture that we read, Psalms 49:11, that they think their houses shall dwell on forever. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. So he's constantly plotting against the poor, all right, against Jacob. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in the den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor, and when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong one. So he acts like he portrays himself as an angel of light, but really he's plotting against you. That's why Sirach 12:10 says, never trust thine enemy. But anyways, it says, he has said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten, he hideth his face. He will never see it. Okay, and that's exactly the mindset that they have. All right, it said that the Most High hideth his face. He's not gonna pay us back for any of the evil that we've done, and they're sadly mistaken. Okay, let's get this. Job 21. Job 21 and verse 7. Wherefore, for what reason do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, and neither is the rod of the Most High upon them. All right, and I'm going to skip down to verse, I recommend reading the whole thing, but for sake of time, they spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave, at verse 13. Okay, verse 14 now, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. But look at this. Okay, this is what I really want to get right here. Boom. Verse 17. Job 21 and 17, it says, how often is the candle of the wicked put out, and how often is their destruction upon them? The Most High distributeth sorrows in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and as the chaff that the storm carrieth away. It says, Yahweh layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. All right, so they're not going to get away with all the things that they've been doing. Okay, he's laying up his iniquity for his children. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's get this right quick. Let's get Numbers 14 and 18. And we'll get a few more scriptures and get ready to wrap it up. All right, it says, the Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Right, so we just read that he lay up his iniquity for his children, because why? They are their fourth. They are their children. All right, like after the third or fourth generation, you come back, you get reincarnated. All right, Psalms 21 and verse 8 says, thine hand shall find out all thine enemies, thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Okay. And let me see. It says, right here, verse 10. Their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. Okay. So the Lord said, that just, adding on to, he's laying up their iniquity for them. All right. For their third and fourth generation. And I'm going to close out with this because, once, as I said in the beginning, okay, the whole point of the video, they name lands after themselves, but see, the Lord is about to shut that out. All right, this is Job 18 and verse 15. It says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. All right, that fire. His root shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. Okay, because remember, they name lands, countries, cities, streets after themselves, but he's going to be completely wiped from the face of the map, from the face of the world. It says, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. It says, he shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remainings in his dwellings. Okay, so that's going to be the end. All right, that's going to be the end. This is what they do, though. It's in the prophecies. Okay, they take the land and name it after themselves. So I'm going to close out with that. Lord's will is edifying. As always, all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Shalom, and on to the next one.